Hi guys, Mike here. If you're new to outdoors adventuring, whether it be camping, bushcraft, or backpacking, figuring out what gear to get can be a daunting task. In the world of outdoors gear, it's a bit of a bizarre break from the norm where more expensive doesn't always mean better. When getting outdoors gear, you need to strike a balance between reliability, durability, functionality, and cost. Shipping out is never a wise decision on things that will keep you alive, but there's also no need to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on gear if you're just starting out. So to help you out, in this video, I'm going to go over what I've come up with as the top 10 backwoods camping equipment you can get on Amazon.ca for $25 Canadian or less. Everything featured in this video is linked to in the description below. And of course, this video is in Canadian dollars as I am based in Canada and on the Canadian version of Amazon. So here we go. Number 10, Wool Blanket by Ready First Aid, $24.99. A key part of any good sleep system setup is the ability to adjust your warmth and insulation as needed. Even in the dead of summer, temperatures at night can drop down and leave you freezing your ass off. A very popular item in outdoors adventuring circles for this is a good wool blanket. The one here is 4 pounds, 64 inches by 84 inches, and 80% wool by Ready First Aid. It's a good balance between cost, size, weight, and insulation. It can be used as ground insulation during warmer weather, or as a sleeping bag liner to keep you even warmer outside of the summer months. Its high wool content means it retains its insulating capabilities even when it's wet. Ideally, you'd want 100% wool, but it's hard to beat this offering for the price. And I might actually pick up one of these for myself and replace my super manly kitty blanket. Number 9, Slingshot by Marksman, $18.73. Well, it's always important to have enough food with you when you go out into the woods. Sometimes things can happen and you're stuck out there longer than intended, or maybe you want the challenge of getting your own food. While there's obviously more effective options like firearms, slingshots are very small, simple, durable, lightweight tools that take up not much more extra space in your kit, and ammo for them can be found literally everywhere in the form of pebbles. Their simplicity means that they're also super easy to repair and maintain. They don't, however, need the super complex tactical attachments that you see everywhere. A good, solid, simple slingshot like this Marksman Classic 2 is all you need. I think I might actually have this exact one in my kit. The band can be replaced with a stronger band as needed. Just make sure you practice a lot with it, as with any tool you intend to use for survival. Number 8, Tarp by Stansport, $19.99. Tarps are a key piece of kit for a lot of outdoors adventurous shelter systems. They're versatile pieces of kit that can be paired with a tent, a hammock, or used on their own. While this particular 8-foot by 10-foot tarp by Stansport is not nylon, which are generally a lot smaller when packed up, it is a multi-purpose ripstop tarp that can take a beating. The ripstop design means it won't tear, and any holes you get from embers or particularly sharp sticks can be patched up easily by using a tent repair kit, melting a piece of plastic over it, or even duct tape, which is actually how I fixed my very similar tarp. It has grommets, you can stake it down, it's reasonably sized, it isn't particularly heavy or large when folded up, and it is, of course, waterproof. It also has woodland camouflage design on it, so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. If you prefer a more high visibility color, I'm sure you can find an equivalent out there. This particular tarp has larger sized options, but be advised that it won't fit the under $25 theme of this video. Number 7, Titanium Spork by Light My Fire, $19.49. I can see some of the confused looks on your faces, but the importance of having a good, reliable eating tool out in the woods cannot be understated. Its titanium construction means it's ridiculously tough and won't rust. Titanium has a ridiculously high melting temperature, so you can do whatever you want with it over the fire and not give a crap. My go-to method of cleaning off cookware if I don't have access to a body of water is to literally burn it off in the fire. Sporks have a bit of an unfair reputation for those not familiar with them. The double-ended design means it's as small and compact as it can be without sacrificing reliability or ease of use. One of these will last you literally your entire life. Number 6. Pocket Stove by Esbit, $17.05. Having some sort of portable cooking tool is a highly advised piece of kit to have, especially while out in the backwoods. You might be backpacking and not have the time to set up a proper fire, or maybe there's a fire ban in place. Maybe it's raining and you need to cook under your shelter. The ability to cook or boil water without the use of a full-size fire is very important. While those with a bigger budget might opt to go for a gas or alcohol burner stove, it's hard to beat the simplicity and effectiveness of Esbit's pocket stove. It comes with 6 solid fuel cubes, which burn for a while on their own right, or you can use small sticks and twigs. I personally use one of these in my kit. Their simple design means they're hard to break. Even if it warps, you can bend it back into shape. Just pop it open, light up your fuel, and place your pot or pan on top. Number 5. Folding Saw by Mossy Oak, $24.99. While out in the woods, aside from actually being able to start a fire, you also need to be able to process firewood in the first place. While you might immediately think of an axe, I would go so far as to argue that if it were a choice between the two, a folding saw or an axe, the folding saw would win out. It would be the far better choice. Folding saws work a bit like an oversized pocket knife. You unfold it and start sawing. Combine one of these with batoning wood with your knife, and you have a solid and reliable way to process wood while you're out in the woods, without needing a heavy and clunky axe. This is especially useful for those who want to backpack or otherwise be moving around from day to day. While those with a bigger budget would benefit more from the likes of Silky or Baco, the Mossy Oak is a good beginner folding saw that will get the job done. Compared to axes, they're lightweight, much smaller, and frankly much safer for those who aren't experienced with using axes. Number 4. Stainless Steel Cook Set by Stanley, $21.92. While you're out in the woods, you need to be able to cook your food and boil water. In this regard, stainless steel is much preferred, as even though it weighs more than aluminum, it's much more durable and won't melt in hot fires. For this, I recommend this Adventure Camp Cook Set by Stanley. I actually use one of these myself as my go-to cooking pot. Not only is it big enough to hold 24 fluid ounces, or 3 full cups, but it also has a vented lid that comes with it, and a foldable handle. Although I do recommend replacing the plastic tab on the lid with a metal keyring, as that tab will melt right off. Also, just to sweeten the deal, it actually also comes with 2 super thick plastic cups inside that fit inside perfectly when it's not being used. The icing on the cake is that it has engraved markings for measuring in both imperial and metric. This pot works really well with the Esbit stove I mentioned earlier. Number 3. Ferro Rod by, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, ÜBERLEBEN, $24. As mentioned previously, the ability to start a fire out in the woods is one of the highest priorities. When used properly, ferro rods beat out the likes of matches and lighters, since they last literally for years, potentially even your entire lifetime before they have to be replaced. Of course, for the sake of redundancy, you should pair these with other methods of starting a fire. This particular choice from ÜBERLEBEN finds a nice balance between price, chemical composition, and size. I recommend opting for the 5/16 inch variant, but you can opt for the thicker 3/8 inch variant if you don't mind extra size, weight, and price. The thicker ferro rods produce more sparks, but they're heavier and obviously bigger. Whichever you choose, it's hard to argue against the simplicity and reliability of a ferro rod after you learn how to properly use it. Number 2. Water Filter by LifeStraw, $24.50. Water is ridiculously heavy. If you're out in the woods for days or weeks at a time, it can be difficult or even impossible to bring enough water with you to last the entire trip. A lot of people underestimate just how heavy water is. Instead, most people source water locally, especially if they're on the go, like backpacking or portaging. A lot of weight can be saved by not bringing much water with you. I personally recommend having no more than about a water bottle's worth of water with you at a given time. For the rest, you can opt to take, you can either take the time-consuming but effective method of boiling the water, or you can use one of these LifeStraws. If you don't know how they work, it's literally a filter inside of a straw. Take water straight from the creek, river, or even a large puddle, stick the straw in it, and you can drink straight from it without needing to boil it, filter it, or otherwise purify it first. They do have a lifespan. After about 1,000 liters, they do need to be replaced for safety reasons. But I learned the hard way that being able to procure drinkable water quickly is a huge time saver and saves you a ridiculous amount of weight and volume in water. These are very popular in outdoor circles for these exact reasons. And number 1, the Companion Knife by Mora, $26. Yes, I know it breaks the $25 or less theme of the video. However, having a good, reliable knife serves as the foundation for any outdoors adventurer's toolkit. From cooking to processing wood, setting up camp, or even crafting tools for yourself, a reliable knife is at the center of it all. If anything on this list deserves to break this rule by $1, it's the knife. And for that extra $1, you get what is arguably the best budget beginner knife in existence. Mora is highly regarded in the outdoors community for their inexpensive but reliable and trustworthy knives. This particular knife has everything you could ask for in a beginner's knife. It's full tang, meaning the steel goes all the way to the base of the grip. It holds an edge, it's corrosion resistant, has a comfortable and unobtrusive grip, and can be used for pretty much all basic outdoors tasks. It even comes with a friction lock sheath. I myself actually use a Mora, but it's not this exact model. If you have a bigger budget, you can explore their other models, but for the price, you'd be extremely hard pressed to beat this offering. And that's my list. I stand by each and every item on it, as I would or already do use what's on it. As always, if you have an alternative suggestion or any comments, please leave them below. And every item in this list is linked to in the description of this video through an Amazon affiliate link, which does benefit this channel if you buy something off Amazon after clicking through our links. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and share our video if you think it's worthwhile. Sorry guys, but I do have to pester you about that. My channel is still relatively new, but I'll be aiming to release a video once a week, so stay on the lookout. Cheers guys.